welcome and thank you for joining us. It's Wednesday, May 8th. You're watching News 2 on VIA Channel 4 and 504. I'm Leslie Camis-Young. Topping our stories tonight, the Virgin Islands Department of Health is working to raise awareness on prevention of infectious diseases, especially measles. Globally, measles is on the rise and hundreds of cases have been reported in the mainland. Public health officials have linked the reemergence of the infectious disease to several countries, and locally the Department of Health is asking residents to get immunized.
The Department of Health is ramping up their public health awareness campaign to prevent any cases of measles.
It might not seem real because we haven't had a case, but the minute we do get a case, then I know everybody's going to run coming in for the vaccines.
Jacqueline Canton, assistant head nurse of maternal child health, spoke with parents at the Pearl B. Larson Elementary School on Monday to inform on the highly contagious viral disease.
It's important for you to know that measles spread by coughing, sneezing, and just simply breathing, and droplets that can be on surfaces. The measles virus in particular can live suspended in this air for 2 hours from an infected individual.
According to the Centers for Disease Control and Prevention, from January 1st to January 3rd, 2019, 764 individual cases of measles have been confirmed in 23 states. The CDC stated that this is the largest number of cases reported in the U.S. since 1994.
So measles was identified as eliminated in the United States in 2000 because there was no longer sustained transmission in the U.S. However, measles continues to circulate globally, which means unvaccinated U.S. travelers can be exposed to measles and bring it back home with them, and folks in their families and their communities, if they're not protected by vaccine, are at risk. And measles is so incredibly contagious that it can spread really quickly.
The Virgin Islands receives up to 2 million visitors a year coming from national and international flights, as well as cruise ships and private yachts. The CDC has linked the outbreaks to travelers from countries such as Israel, Ukraine, and the Philippines.
Why it's particularly important to children is that the complications that result from having measles usually lead to deafness, it can lead to swelling of the brain, and children can actually die.
Mostly because of religious beliefs, individuals from the countries that the CDC reference are unvaccinated.
What are the requirements for immunization? What can and can't you get away with to get into our public school systems at this time?
There is a schedule, and the schedule actually is in place from 2 months when you start vaccines till 5 years old. All your recommended shots are done by 5 years old to enter school.
But there are exemptions for parents and students in the school system.
Every year, parents come in to get these exemptions. They have to do it every year. So they come in, they bring in a statement saying whether it's their religious belief or whether it's their personal belief. They bring us a letter. It's brought into the Department of Health. It's put through the process.
The Virgin Islands Department of Health is currently offering MMR vaccine for children at their maternal child health facilities throughout the territory. MMR vaccine for adults are also available at medical providers listed on prevention campaign posters. For News 2, I'm Stephanie Shalana Brown.
Now, Ms. Canton has stated that there is a minute number of students in the school system that have not received the measles vaccination. The CDC released information earlier this year stating that over 34,000 measles cases have been reported in 42 countries of the World Health Organization European region. The American Federation of Teachers has partnered with Airlink and is being sponsored by the Clinton Global Initiative to screen students in the public school system. The collaboration has brought nurses to conduct vision and hearing screenings, and plans are on the way to assist students that may need further services, which include providing glasses to those in need. Turning our attention. Oh, okay.
The St. Croix Federation of Teachers and the St. Thomas St. John Federation of Teachers have partnered with the Clinton Global Initiative, and what we're doing is we're screening, we're doing vision screening in our schools and also hearing screenings. And we have nurses here from throughout the United States, nurses volunteers actually. They're here from the United States, and they're screening the kids in all all our schools?
We've seen about 600 kids, and yesterday we've seen 1,000, and today I'm sure we've seen a few hundred, quite a bit, so over 2,000 kids so far, and we're only midweek.
So the percentage is small. I'd say maybe 5 to 10%. We're seeing several students who actually have glasses, but they're either broken or they were broken in a hurricane. They haven't been able to get them replaced.
That's a very desperate need. The glasses of children that should have the glasses already, but because of the situation, they haven't been able to obtain those at this time.
And some of the glasses are so expensive that even though there's a need for glasses for some of these students, parents just can't afford the glasses because they're expensive. Kids are kids, they lose them.
Yeah, it's hard.
So I know, just me personally, I am just here for the week in St. Croix. Today we are at the Juanita Guardian School. Tomorrow we will see another school, and then Friday another school. But we do have another team, so while we're at one school, they're at another one. Actually, they're seeing 2 today as well.
Yeah, we've been seeing about 3 schools a day.
Yeah, I think we expect to see, I don't know, to me, I think that we should get to around like 5,000 students by the end of the school week. Possibly 6, because there are some days that we're seeing about 1,000 students per day.
Turning our attention to crime, police are investigating a vehicular accident that sent a 14-year-old boy on St. Croix to the hospital. On May 6th at around 3 in the afternoon in the vicinity of the Alfredo Andrews School, a male driver driving a black SUV on the Montbijou Road made a left turn to get into the school's road. That's when he struck a vehicle, veered left, and struck a 14-year-old boy who was walking on the grassy area in front of the school. Now, the vehicle ended up on the school's property. The boy sustained internal damages and was airlifted to a San Juan hospital in Puerto Rico for further medical treatment for his injuries. He remains in critical condition. John Woodson School has stepped forward and asked for prayers for their students, Brendel Williams. This incident remains open pending further investigation by the Traffic Investigations Bureau. And anyone with information, they are asked to call the Traffic Investigations Bureau at 340-778-2211. Meanwhile, on St. Thomas on May 7th at around 12:42 a.m., 911 received a call about multiple shots being fired in the area of First Stop gas station located across the street from Bright Traco Park. Immediately after that, 911 also got a call that 2 people had been shot and brought to the Snyder Hospital. When officers got to the Snyder Regional Medical Center, they learned that one of the victims was an off-duty Supreme Court marshal who was doing security at the gas station. The other person who was shot was the suspect in the shooting. He had been shot in the leg during the shootout. Now, at around 12 noon, that same day, the suspect, Shamari Elms, a 22-year-old, was placed under arrest and charged with assault 1st degree, reckless endangerment, assault 3rd degree, and possession of a firearm during a crime of violence. Elms, who is still receiving treatment for his gunshot wound, will be advised of his rights on May 8th and then will be turned over to the Bureau of Corrections. His bail was set at $75,000. Meanwhile, police have arrested a suspect in a stabbing incident that happened Friday, April 19th. Jamil A. Bell, age 38, was arrested on May 1st and charged with assault 3rd degree, use of a dangerous weapon, brandishing, simple assault, battery, obscene indecent conduct, and disturbing the peace. The actual crime occurred on Friday, April 19th. According to police, Bell assaulted the victim with a broken glass bottle and also stabbed the victim with a knife. Bell's bail was set at $25,000. He was processed and remanded to the Bureau of Corrections pending his advice of rights hearing. Coming up next, a look at top news stories in the Caribbean, plus some news initiatives at the Bureau of Motor Vehicles. We'll be right back. Jackson McIntosh, director of the Virgin Islands Bureau of Motor Vehicles, was a guest on Holland Redfield's radio show Straight Talk with Holland Redfield today to discuss what she has been doing since taking over the BMV. She said that she knew there would be challenges but wanted to come in with a clear head and no preconceived notions about the BMV. What she found was a group of enthusiastic and hardworking employees that did not receive the proper tools to do the job. The director also said that most of the customers' frustrations came from not having proper information. As a result of that, she has updated all forms and procedures for doing everything at the BMV. Mrs. Jackson McIntosh talked about the new Real ID.
So it has a star. It's the one with the Mokojumbi and the Virgin Islands flag to the left, the Mokojumbi to the right, and the star above that. That is the one that is considered the Real ID, and that you can use for travel. Now, this law goes in effect October 1, 2020.
Okay.
So October 1, 2020, if you're going to use your ID or your driver's license, it must be the one with the star. Right? And if you're going to go on in a federal building like the court or a base, or a nuclear power plant, if you have the need to go to a nuclear power plant, you must have this ID. Right? You must bring your original Social Security card, all original documents.
Can I have your card again? Maybe what we ought to, can we put it on the camera where they can see it?
We have one here that... This one to the... These two, one is the Virgin Islands Real ID, and the one is the regular...
Okay, let's... we'll just
use this one here, the driver's license.
Right,
the top left. Okay, that's the sample. The top left, yes. The top left is the driver's license, and the top right is the ID card. One is the ID, and it looks the same, but it would say driver's license, and the other one would say ID card. That's the Real ID document.
Turning to top stories in the region, the turmoil in Venezuela is not showing signs of simmering down, and the United States is making moves to affect the outcome. United States Vice President Mike Pence is set to announce a series of measures to put pressure on the Venezuelan government after last week's attempted coup led by opposition leader Juan Guaido. Here's more.
Juan Guaido admits it himself. The so-called final phase of the uprising against President Nicolas Maduro has failed. The massive crowds of protesters were there out on the streets again, but army officials were not. And yet Juan Guaido says they had promised to join the uprising.
There were people that failed to follow through. Let's say it that way. And this doesn't mean that they won't do it soon. Once they overcome fear, they will do it. I'm an optimist, and I know we are very close to achieving change in Venezuela.
It seems Juan Guaido can't move forward without getting the military leaders' backing. And they remain loyal to Nicolas Maduro, standing prepared to defend the country in case of a U.S. military intervention. The U.S. is using other means against Venezuela's leader.
Over the international water. The Venezuelan people are speaking. They're demanding democracy. They're demanding that their country not be hijacked by socialists and by Cubans who've destroyed their economy.
While the U.S. hardens sanctions against an already isolated Venezuela, Vice President Mike Pence is also due to announce incentives to push army officials to drop Maduro. If the president is toppled, the U.S. has an aid package all ready to be sent to Venezuela, who's facing one of the worst economic crises in its history.
Stick around, your News 2 AccuWeather forecast is coming up next. We'll be right back.
Good evening. As we continue through here Wednesday night, we'll be in a drier patch of air, but what we will notice is a better chance for moisture to increase across the Central Caribbean as a whole. And that means a better chance for clouds and shower activity in the coming days. As you take notice into our satellite here, not a lot of deep convective clouds. Where we're seeing that is down into South America, and that moisture eventually going to start to lift into the region. So I'm showing you the water vapor. This shows you how much moisture is in the air. Dry colors are indicated through oranges and yellows, and that's where we have that continue to move to an easterly out towards the leewards and windwards, and we still have some of that drier air on top of us, but we will notice in the coming days a better chance for blue zones to take over and towards the Virgin Islands, Puerto Rico, and back into Hispaniola, and that's where we're going to be noticing that sun a bit more limited. Mainly clear tonight, so no need to worry with the low of 77, and then as we head into tomorrow, topping off at 86 in St. John's, partly sunny skies, trade still remaining moderate with some showers in spots. Also going to be looking at some showers likely in St. Thomas at a high of 86 and 88 in St. Croix. Partly sunny skies and showers going to be lingering around. Now for your Atlantic marine forecast, waves running 3 to 5 feet, winds out of the east 10 to 15 knots. At this time, no official cautions in place, but since the trades are a bit moderate and have been consistently moderate, just keep cautious as always. Be safe out in the waters. 3 to 5 feet on the Caribbean side, winds out of the east 10 to 15 knots. We talk about your extended forecast. Temperatures not changing here much, in the upper 80s for the next several days. Once again, we'll be watching out for a bit more cloud cover as we head into your Friday, Saturday, and really into your Sunday and Monday as well. We're tracking out our first tropical wave of the season that will bring even more moisture across the Virgin Islands.
Thank you for that update. You know, we're all wanting rain around here. Stick around. Next, we have Alex Randall's news and comments coming up right after the break. We'll be right back.
You're watching TV2. This is Alex Randall with news and comment. Remember when the Cinderella Thomas Bungalow and Rothschild Francis Market Square collapsed and Food Fair had to move to Emancipation Garden? At first people grumbled and complained. It's not tradition. We've always done it Market Square. But after we had Food Fair in the new location, people were excited. They said, that was great. Far better than Market Square, more room. We have never looked back. Now, let us explore what would happen if we moved Carnival Village out of Fort Christian parking lot to a new location. Could it also be better? What if Carnival got better and we could have a Carnival spirit all year round? We could. What we need is to implement a permanent Carnival Village. Every year we displace all the cars from Fort Christian parking lot, set up a Carnival Village, assemble the stage, bring in the rides, and hold Carnival Village for a few evenings. Our current Carnival Village involves a lot of setting up and knocking down, and it's all temporary, done on the fly. Our village looks like it was thrown up overnight. Lots of love and great art, but kind of shabby. What if we had a permanent Carnival Village? What if we had a couple of acres with a permanent concrete stage with a permanent steel structure roof and the lighting and sound systems built into permanent stormproof structures? And an open plaza with permanent booths around the perimeter. And you could hold a concert anytime just by turning the whole thing on. It would always be there, ready to use. Now, a lot of places with mature festivals have permanent facilities. Most of the states have permanent sites for their state fair. They have a village made for the ages out of concrete and steel. By making a one-time investment in a permanent facility, the place is always ready to party. Imagine permanent concrete booths with doors and windows and sinks with running water and drains that go to real sewers and permanent built-in lighting, refrigeration, storage. We could have a central courtyard that was brick paved or lawn with concrete benches, permanent lighting, a serious fence, ticket booths, a security building, even a first aid station, and real bathrooms. It would be a turnkey party place. Any band could set up any time and hold a concert, and any concert could have food vendors and shops ready to go. The venue is always available, so events can just move in and go. And it could even have a real parking lot. Now, where could such a facility be? Let's look at Subbase St. Thomas. Right now, it's a tawdry wasteland of empty lots, abandoned and storm-damaged buildings, a utility pole storage area opposite the Austin Monsanto cruise ship dock and shopping center. What is there is ugly. What could be there could be a permanent carnival site rigged with shops, look at the subbase area. Now, there is nothing of significance inside the center of subbase now. There's a space that's 2.3 acres. Fort Christian parking lot's only 2.1 acres. The new space would be bigger than Fort Christian parking lot, plus there's parking at Crown Bay Center already there. A variety of events could use a permanent Carnival Village. International Capital and Management's jazz concerts. Public Works holds regular block parties. And we have lots of concerts, and they all require a lot of effort. Set up the stage, the lighting, the sound, the security, the fencing. Any of those events could move right into our permanent village, and all the facilities would be ready to use. Entrepreneurs could develop new musical events, flip a switch and have a full service of all the venue with food booths, courtyard, gates, security, bathrooms. Consider if we could have a permanent venue available on big cruise ship days, music and vendors right where the ships come in. Now, you look at the picture on the screen right now, that black box in the center, there's nothing of value in there right now, and it could be a permanent Carnival Village. So let's redo Subbase as a permanent Carnival Village and let the party begin. This is Alex Randall with News and Comment. Now back to Leslie.
Thank you for that, Alex. That was a really great piece. And that's it for our show tonight. We're live on Facebook and YouTube and on via Channel 4 and 504. Mondays, Wednesdays, and Fridays, 7 p.m. and 11 p.m. Follow us on social media. Tag us on any story you want to see on the news or send us a message on Messenger. You can also email us at newsdirector@tv2.vi. Thank you again for joining us on News 2. I'm Leslie Comisión. We'll see you next time.